before the fun and excitement of the week ahead, let's first put a wrap on the week that was with our Week 7 edition of Top Plays and Prime Time Performers. Starting with the only two undefeated teams left in all of District 11, beginning with the only remaining unblemished club in the EPC, the Freedom Patriots, who used a smothering and relentless defense in moving to 7-0, authoring 5 takeaways in their Christmas City showdown with Bethlehem Catholic. Senior defensive end Dylan Hill had a pair of fumble recoveries, one in the first quarter before another late in the third. Freedom also with a trio of interceptions. Senior Aaron Beat with his second of the season. That came in the opening period. Fellow classmate Ryan Roeder also with a pick to go along with a second quarter safety before Shakreek Colwell sealed the deal with a fourth quarter INT. Pates are now up to 19 takeaways for the season, 13 interceptions, and a half dozen fumble recoveries. Freedom is allowing just 12 points against per game. Now, meanwhile, over in the Colonial Schuylkill League, another week brought about another dominant win for Northwestern Lehigh and yet another stat-stuffing performance for senior Eli Zimmerman, who needed just 13 carries to pile up 162 yards on the ground and 3 rushing touchdowns as part of the Tigers' 35-0 triumph over Pottsville. The speedy tailback found pay dirt from 10, 13, and 66 yards out, giving him 16 total tutties for the year. Zimmerman enters Northwestern's Week 8 matchup with Jim Thorpe, now just 5 yards shy of 1,000 for the season. Over at Easton, it's been a two-headed monster out of the backfield that's got the Red Rovers to 6-1. Seniors Will Day and Dorian Thomas absolutely unstoppable in Friday's victory over Northampton. The best buds combining for 235 yards on 42 carries, racking up 5 total touchdowns. Thomas with 28 totes for $121 and a pair of 6-yard TDs, while Day turned 14 carries into 114 yards and a trio of rushing scores, finding the end zone from 2, 3, and 18 yards out. For the season, Thomas and Day have combined for just over 1,200 yards on the ground and 21 rushing touchdowns. Easton visits fellow 6-1 Liberty on Friday. A couple of other teams in the East Penn Conference used impressive rushing performances to snag their 5th wins of the season, starting with Emmaus, where senior Riley Bechtel turned in his second-best rush output of the season on Friday, carrying the ball 16 times for 128 yards as part of the Green Hornets' 31-7 win over Whitehall. The senior also found the end zone twice on scoring scampers of 6 and 18 yards, giving him 8 rush TDs for the season, with now over 700 yards in total on the ground. Emmaus is currently 6th in the District 6A standings, heading into Friday's showdown at Durham. Nazareth, meanwhile, is in action Saturday at Bethlehem Catholic. The Blue Eagles with back-to-back wins thanks to the red-hot Marquise Wimberly. A monster performance from the junior last Friday as Nazareth bumped Liberty from the ranks of the unbeaten. Wimberly carried the ball 18 times for 155 yards and 3 touchdowns, scoring from 64 yards away off a toss sweep on the very first play of the game, before adding 2 and 12-yard scoring scampers later in the first half. And all of that before taking a fourth quarter screen pass 55 yards to the house. That is part of the Blue Eagles' 34-14 win. Over the last 2 weeks, Wimberly has amassed over 300 yards on the ground and 6 rushing touchdowns. He's now up to 10 total TDs for the season.